Hello, welcome back to another video of structure and written expression. It's me, Julie, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about adjectives and adverbs. It is very common in TOEFL that we need to identify whether the use of adjectives or adverbs are correct or not. For example, we need to determine whether the position is correct or not, or whether the word choice of adjectives and adverbs is correct or not. That's why in this video we will learn about how to use adjectives and adverbs in sentences correctly. In this slide, you can see several examples of adjectives and adverbs, especially adverb of manner, yeah? For regular adverbs, we can just add ly to an adjective. For example, graceful becomes gracefully, slow becomes slowly, common, commonly, wide, widely. However, there are several irregular adverbs which do not follow this pattern. For example, the adjective form is fast and the adverb is still the same, fast. Another example is good. As adjective, the adverb form is well. You say, she is a good singer. Okay, that is the function of an adjective, right? As for the adverb, you don't say, she sings goodly, but you say, she sings well. What I'm trying to say is familiar with these kinds of irregular forms, okay? In this part, I'm going to show you possible words order or the position of adjective and verb in a sentence. Let's start with adjectives first, yeah? Basically, the function of an adjective is to modify nouns. That means the adjective describes the noun. The words order is adjective, noun. For example, Jessica is a graceful dancer. She is a beautiful girl. So you say the adjective comes first and noun. So if you see a sentence, Jessica is a dancer graceful, then the sentence is incorrect. It is also possible to see this words order: adverb, adjective, noun. For example, Jessica is an undeniably graceful dancer. It is possible to have a sentence like this, yeah? Or in a common way, we say, Jessica is a very graceful dancer. Very is one example of an adverb as well. So this is correct. But you must remember that you cannot combine adverb and noun without having an adjective in the middle. For example, Jessica is an undeniably dancer. The sentence is wrong, okay? Because there is no adjective in here. Conclusion is adverb plus noun is wrong. Now let's move on to the adverb. The function of an adverb is to modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. Here are possible words orders with adverbs. The first is adverb plus adjective. For example, the show was absolutely great. This is the adverb and this is the adjective. This is fine, okay? Or it is very common for us to say the show was very great. You know that very is an adverb, right? And then the second order is adverb plus verb 3. For example, the software is widely used. Widely is an adverb and used is the verb 3. Other common examples are like generally known, commonly accepted. So you see, commonly is an adverb and accepted is a verb 3. The third order is verb plus adverb because basically an adverb modifies a verb. So it is possible to have this kind of structure. For example, she dances gracefully. I run fast. She has worked hard, or she has worked very hard. The other pattern is adverb plus adverb. For example, they presented their sales pitch very perfectly. Very is an adverb and perfectly is another adverb. And the sentence is correct. And another thing to remember though regarding the position of adverbs, do not place an adverb between a verb and an object in a sentence. Look at this example. This is the verb and this is the object. This is the adverb. The adverb is placed between the verb and the object. and it is incorrect. So if you see in a sentence in TOEFL test a sentence like this, then you know what is wrong, okay? You may want to move it to the very last of the sentence, like here, or you probably want to move it to the very beginning. It is also possible. So, it is safe to say that remembering these patterns will help you to identify whether the position or the use of adjectives and adverbs in sentence is correct or not. Or alternatively, you may want to create easy examples to remember in your mind. So when you find sentences or questions about adjectives and adverbs in TOEFL tests, it is easier for you to reflect on the structure. Okay, now let's check this practice. In here, we have to determine which part is wrong. The answer is A. It is wrong because the order of these words is not correct. The order is adverb noun. And as I told you before, it is not possible to have structure like this. So this is wrong. It should be adjective plus noun. You can actually use an adverb before a noun as long as you have an adjective between both. Remember, adverb plus noun is wrong. I want to invite you to review the other options. B is correct because it is written in present perfect. You see this is has, and we've got verb 3 in here. And one more thing, resulted in is a prepositional phrase, and the use of preposition is correct. Resulted in. C is correct because the order of the words is correct. You see this is an adjective, this is a noun. D is correct because it is a noun. There is nothing wrong with it, and actually there is an article in here, so D is alright. So yeah, the answer is A. Now I'm gonna continue about more of adjectives. There are other things that we need to be aware of when we check whether the adjective is correct or not. The first is you should be aware of linking verbs. Earlier I told you that adverbs modify verbs, right? So it is possible to use an adverb after a verb. But with these linking verbs, we normally use adjectives. For example, the food smells good. You don't say the food smells well. What about this example? The committee seemed very disappointed. Is it possible? Very is an adverb. Yes, it is possible because at the end of the sentence, we still have an adjective. You may say the committee seemed very disappointed. You also may say the committee seemed disappointed, but you don't say the committee seemed very. No, there must be an adjective at the back, okay? And the other thing that you should be aware of is predicate adjectives. Earlier, we learned that adjectives can be placed before a noun, right? For example, beautiful, beautiful girl. So the adjective comes before the noun. But with these predicate adjectives, these 5, they must not be followed by nouns. You may use these predicate adjectives after linking verbs. You see, like appear, be like SMR, was, were, and the other, yeah? So for example, you say, she is afraid of being alone. Or you may say, she seems afraid. That is okay. But you don't say, the afraid child. No. This order is wrong. Instead of saying the afraid child, you may use the frightened child. That adjective frightened can be followed by a noun. Now it's time for practice. We must determine the wrong part. In the first one, the answer is B. You see here we've got appeared. Appeared is one of the linking verbs, right? And we agreed earlier that a linking verb should be followed by an adjective. While here we have an adverb. So this is wrong. It should be appeared relaxed. The conclusion is if you see a linking verb is paired with an adverb, then there is something wrong with that, yeah? But it is possible to have this word order. Linking verb plus adverb plus adjective because at the end you still have an adjective. So it's still connecting the linking verb and the adjective. I want to invite you to review the other options. A is correct because it is a verb. It might be written in simple past. C is correct because you can actually use the verb being after a connector, right? You remember the reduced clause? D is correct. The use of the noun is correct. There is nothing wrong with that. The vacation. Now let's continue to the second one. The answer is A. Asleep is one predicate adjective, right? And as we learned earlier, a predicate adjective must not be followed by a noun. While in here we have a noun, man, so this one is wrong. Maybe instead of using asleep, you should use sleeping, that sleeping man. But either way, asleep man is wrong. I mean, in this kind of task in TOEFL, you do not have to find or you don't have to write the correct answer. You just need to find the wrong part. So as long as you can identify the wrong part, you should be fine. Let's review the other options, yeah? B is correct because the subject is man, singular, and the verb is looks, singular verb. C is correct. You know, looks is a linking verb. It can be followed by an adjective, right? Tired is an adjective, so it is correct. Although we have a very here, an adverb. D is correct, the use of the verb, because here we've got has, which is present perfect. In present perfect, you use verb 3. I mean, after has or have, you use verb 3, right? So D is correct. Well, everybody, that is the end of my explanation about the use of adverbs and adjectives. I hope this video helps. I'll see you in the next one.